Owning a football club has always been my dream, but since I'm broke, I can't afford to buy one. And so to fulfill my dream, I created my very own club in FC 24. The goal is to one day become the world's best club owner, but to do that, I'll have to make the best transfers possible, develop world-class youth academy facilities, find sponsors, and a lot more. But if I can take my very own club from EFL League 2 all the way to the Champions League trophy, I can officially call myself the world's best club owner. To start things off, we need a name for our club. Was there ever any doubt? S2G FC, of course. And also, we need to put in a nickname. And for those of you guys know, our club has got a very menacing nickname. A nickname that all the clubs across the world fear. We're the Tough Cookies.
You serious?
We now need a logo, a badge for our club. Something that fans across the world can identify with and represent. We've got ourselves a brand new logo. Bro, like, just look at how cool this looks. Nah, I'm gassed just looking at this. We've got the logo and the name, but what we really need is the backing of sponsors. Because without a sponsor, we're gonna be a broke club. We won't be able to make transfers, buy a stadium, or do anything to make any sort of progress. Thankfully, we've got a couple of sponsor offers. New Balance and Umbro are both interested in becoming our kit manufacturer, but who do we go with? This is my first of many big decisions I'll have to make as a club owner. I ended up choosing Umbro because they were giving us more money to start with. 5 mil is going to go a long way, and looks like Umbro have cooked because our kits for the season are absolutely amazing. All that's left is choosing a stadium, but since we're a teeny tiny club, probably gonna have empty stands as we grow our fan base, makes sense to choose the smallest stadium available. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to afford a big stadium. Finally, it's time to meet the team we're starting our journey with. Maybe some of these players here could become future club legends. But right now, they're super low rated and don't look all that impressive. We have Bernard at the back. He could be a solid centre-back for us by the looks of things, but apparently, he's got anger issues. Thomas Arnold, the 6'6" giant. He's one of the tallest centre-backs in the league. Up top, we've got Dave Rooney, and there are rumours that he's a distant cousin of Wayne Rooney. If that's the case, surely he's got some talent. Our first few games in EFL League 2 though were absolutely shocking. The problem was our keeper was absolutely useless and our midfield was average. The media was already predicting for us to get relegated to the National League. It was finally time to use that 5 million we got from our sponsor and bring in some new players, starting with a goalkeeper. 21-year-old Englishman Sam Tickle was the one I scouted, and we've brought him in. The first signing in S2G FC's history. To follow that up, we also brought in Lennon Miller, an exciting young midfielder, and finally we were starting to look like a football team. Dave Rooney up top was getting us the goals, although it was nowhere near enough to be in a promotion spot because we needed some more firepower up top. But we've got no money for any big signings. The only way we can bring through some talent is now through the youth academy. So we decided to spend $1 million on youth scouts, sending them for scouting projects, and after about a month, we found a couple of interesting talents. Kovalenko from Ukraine and the Englishman Billy Wilson. The latter looked world-class. He had a lot of pace and his dribbling reminded me of Raheem Sterling. He instantly became a guaranteed starter and we were climbing up the table thanks to his performances. We were now just outside a playoff spot in the league, and while I thought that was amazing considering it's just our first ever season, our sponsors were not happy. You see, Umbro invested quite a bit of money on us and they wanted their return on investment, and they would only get that if we win the league, get promoted. But since we weren't looking all that great, they've just sent me an email threatening to pull out their financing unless we get promoted this season. That's right, if our kit manufacturer pulls out mid-season, there's a chance we could go bankrupt, especially after all the investments we've made into the team. We've got no choice but to secure promotion. The pressure was on, the squad was feeling it as well, and we were crumbling. In times like this, the squad needed a leader, and that man was our captain, Angry Bernard. Although he was getting a few red cards, for the most part, he was containing his anger, focusing on the pitch, leading the team by example, showing character and personality. He helped get the club back on track. And with some leftover funds in January, we also signed right back Ryan Cooney to just bolster that defense. With the changes and the leadership of Bernard, the team was playing better than ever, and we're the closest we've been to a playoff position. But to make that step forward towards an automatic promotion spot still feels out of reach. Because the problem is, our goal threat is still only Dave Rooney, and don't get me wrong, he's been scoring some absolute screamers, but other teams have figured us out. You stop Dave, you stop the goals. Billy Wilson's a great winger, but he's not developed that finishing yet. And Kovalenko hasn't really shown promise. The other attacker we've got in the team is Will Power, and he's been more focused on having a career as an influencer than actually playing football. Once again, we're gonna have to trust our youth academy to bring us another talent. A few months ago, I had sent a scout to Brazil, to the favelas of Sao Paulo, to find us potentially the next Neymar, the next Pele. And oh boy, did we find a couple of good players. One of them being Igor Ribeiro. Dribbling, shooting, passing, he had it all. He looked like a generational talent, a future Ballon d'Or winner. With just a few days at our club, he was able to bench Will Power and was scoring some sensational goals. Towards the end of the season, we were starting to look like the best team in the league, but it was a little too late, as we were only able to secure 4th position in the league, which means no automatic promotion. It's such a shame because we've had Dave Rooney, who gave everything this season to win the Golden Boot and Player of the Season, but it wasn't enough. If only we had found Ribeiro earlier. The problem now is that no promotion could also mean our bankruptcy. But there is still hope. We've qualified for the playoffs. It's going to be a grueling affair, but there's still chance for promotion, and we need to take it. Playoff semi-finals, and we're facing Notts County under tremendous pressure that we've never experienced before. We end up losing 1-0. This is a disaster. If we get knocked out here, we might be forced to sell some of our big players to just keep the club afloat. We have to turn things around. And thankfully, the player of this season had other plans. He's gone through. Massive chance. Dave does not miss. Dave does not miss. A huge goal for S2G FC. We're level in this playoff. And then it was our 2 academy prospects that combined. All we need to do is win the playoffs final versus Gillingham, and we're heading to EFL League One. Yet again, it was Dave Rooney delivering in a big moment, but we end up conceding a ridiculous goal. This was the most intense game of football we've played, 120 minutes, and yes, this is going to penalties. Sam Tickle starts off by making an incredible save, but then Will Power took the worst penalty of all time. He hit both posts and missed.
Absolute crap.
Tickle's heroics continued, but we still needed to score this final pen. You've got to score this, please. Please. He's done it. He's done it. We're going up. We've secured promotion to League One in just our first ever season. Under all this pressure, we've made our first step towards becoming the world's best club. We've made it to EFL League One, just 2 divisions away from being a Premier League club. But honestly, I'm unsure if we've got the quality to survive this division. I mean, just look at our team. The ratings are definitely better now, but we need more improvements, and for that, we need money. We're renewing our deal with Umbro, and hopefully they won't be putting us under tremendous pressure like last season, but still our budget's only about 6 million. We really need to be looking out for more ways to generate revenue. One such way could be having a shirt sponsor, but we're still a teeny tiny irrelevant club playing in the 3rd division of English football. No sponsors want us. Maybe once we get to the championship, brands will start noticing us. For now, our budget is 6 million for the season, and we need to make it work. Also, we do have some updated kits for the season that look pretty amazing. Talking about kits, if you guys want to represent S2G FC, help take this club to the next level, you can do so by buying the official S2G FC jerseys. Oh, we've got hoodies, caps, everything you need to represent the world's best club. Okay, well, we're not the best club now, but we will be in the future. Also, we've recently released kid sizes, so now everybody can represent the club. We're about 2 weeks away from the start of the season, and our best midfielder, Lennon Miller, is injured. That made me realize that our squad depth is tragic. Since we're low on cash, I was going through the free agent section to see if we could pick up a bargain, and you won't believe who I found. Jordan Henderson, a Liverpool legend, former Champions League winner. I guess this was at a time when Hendo was not enjoying life in Saudi Arabia, and we can capitalize on this opportunity. But to sign Jordan Henderson, we're gonna have to make him the highest paid player at the club. But to be honest, with the experience he'll bring in, I think it'll be worth it. And so we're signing Jordan Henderson, our biggest signing yet. And Hendo arrived right in time for the start of the season. He even scored our first goal in League One. The quality and experience he added to our midfield was sensational. It feels like now we've got what it takes to secure back-to-back promotions. But then rumors broke out. 2 S2G FC players are unhappy at the club and have forced their way out. The first one is Kovalenko. To be honest, I'm kinda okay with this because he hasn't really done much for us. But he's joining our rivals Northampton. They're the best team in the division, and Kovalenko could try and stop us from getting promoted. The second one, though, hurts even more. Remember our scouts we sent to Brazil that brought us Igor Ribeiro? Well, he also found another player, Francisco Rodriguez, a goalkeeper dubbed as the next Edison. But because we've got Sam Tickle, who's already playing at a very high level, we couldn't give Francisco Rodriguez that many opportunities. And so Man City have come in and signed the next Edison, and there was nothing we could do to stop it. But hey, at least we got a bit of money from this, with which we managed to sign Tahith Chong. We needed another winger after Kovalenko's departure. Chong's a former United player, he's got a crazy afro. I think it could be a top tier signing. But all of these changes have definitely unsettled the squad, because we're now starting to drop points. We need to build some momentum, and the perfect way to do that is by beating our rivals Northampton. Let's show Kovalenko who's boss. But instead, it was Kovalenko showcasing what kind of a talent he is. He's improved so much. Northampton score, we managed to equalize from a set piece, but the game ends 1-1. We're 13th in the league after this result. If we don't go on a streak of wins, we'll have no chance for promotion. Thankfully, Dave Rooney had finally adapted to League 1, and he was now banging in the goals. Igor Ribeiro had leveled up his game too. We're climbing the league table, but our winning streak is now at stake. We need to score this free kick to keep it going. Let's try our best. Will, get this one over and under, will ya? Oh, he's done it! Willpower! Oh my! He's actually scored a free kick! Halfway through this season and we're in a playoffs position. But I really don't want to deal with the pressure of playoffs. It's just too stressful. We need to secure automatic promotion this season. It's the January transfer window and we still have a bit of cash left. With Tahith Chong not really having an impact, kind of being a flop, maybe signing a Man City player could add some firepower to the team, plus getting a bit of revenge for them stealing Francisco Rodriguez from us. And there's a certain Norwegian I want to sign. And no, it's not Erling Haaland. We probably can't afford Haaland for even a week. But Oscar Bob looks very promising. For about 3.5 million, we've signed him. And little did I know this decision would change everything. Oscar hit the ground running with his dribbling, passing, skills, and even goals. We hadn't seen a flamboyant winger like him in our team. Our attack was lethal and we were scoring goals for fun. We even beat Northampton and Kovalenko, which felt really good. Not only do we have a chance of securing promotion, but we could also win the league, our first ever trophy. All we need to do is win our final game of the season, but right before that, chaos ensues. Toby Payne, a reserve player in our squad. To be honest, I didn't even know he existed, but apparently he was extremely annoyed with all the winger signings we're making, not giving him an opportunity, and he decided to jump Oscar Bob and put his life at risk. Thankfully, no injuries for Oscar Bob, but Toby Payne was arrested for that. With all the chaos in the club, can we still win the league? We're facing Shrewsbury in the final game of the season. We capitalize on a set piece. Dave Rooney, right place, right time. But then they equalize. Dave Rooney then responds with a fantastic weak foot goal. This man is carrying us. Ribeiro then seals the job. We almost bottled it though by conceding a penalty. But yes, we've done it. For the first time in the history of our club, we're champions. Back-to-back promotions, this is just the start. We're not stopping until we make it to the Premier League. But before we dream about the Premier League, we need to deliver in the Championship. And although the ratings of our players have grown massively over the last couple of seasons, it's still not good enough. We need to level up our squad. And Umbro have come in with a renewal offer, but it's the stinkiest offer I've ever seen. We're a Championship club now. We need more money. And thankfully, New Balance has also come in with an offer, and they're offering us considerably more money. And you know what? I don't even like Umbro. They gave us a lot of headache in that first season. We're signing with New Balance. And also, big news, we finally got ourselves a shirt sponsor. It's TikTok. Maybe it's our very own TikToker at the club, Willpower, that's brokered this deal. With the money from TikTok, we were able to make our first stadium upgrade. We've now got a capacity of 10,000 fans. Also, new sponsors mean new kits for the season. Can't wait to see Dave Rooney score in these kits. But one player that won't be donning these kits is Jordan Henderson, because he's just announced his retirement. It's sad, but to be fair, he got us to the Championship. Farewell, Henderson. Enjoy post-retirement. But yes, we are going to miss his goals. But that makes it obvious. Our first signing this season has got to be a midfielder. And while going through the free agent section, once again, I found a beast. Luka Modric is available for free. A Ballon d'Or winner, another former Champions League winner. He's one of the greatest midfielders of all time. But yes, he's 39 years old. He probably can't run, but he's still 84 rated, and I reckon he should be able to dominate the championship. We're making him our highest paid player. We've just signed Luka Modric, and he announces his arrival at the club by scoring trivelas for fun. But in spite of that, we're feeling the heat in the championship. The level is a lot higher. We're conceding way too many goals, and also Dave Rooney up top, he's finding the step up to the championship really daunting. We did end up signing Lewis Hall for the left back position, a youngster to just bolster our defense, but we're nowhere near promotion. We're now about to play the #1 team in the championship, Leeds United. Right before the game, I realized that they've signed Kovalenko, who's now become one of the best players in the division. Not only that, remember Toby Payne, the man who got arrested? He's been released from prison and has joined Leeds United. Being in prison has improved his physical stats massively, and now both these players want their revenge against us. And sadly, there was nothing we could do against them. They were just too good. For some reason this season, our attack wasn't clicking. Chong had basically done nothing. And wait, I've just got a message from Billy Wilson. Hey boss, like Kovalenko, I've considered leaving the club as I don't get enough chances. I still love the club. I would consider staying if you make me a guaranteed starter. Billy Wilson's one of the most promising players we've had. We cannot let him go. And if it means selling Tahith Chong, that's exactly what I'm doing. We're cashing in on Chong, making Billy Wilson a starter, and guess what? That's the best decision we've ever made. Wilson had improved so much. He was already great at dribbling, but now he's adding goals to his game. From being near the relegation zone, we've climbed up all the way to 4th in the championship. Although it's frustrating to see Kovalenko and Toby Payne's Leeds United get directly promoted, but we can join them if we win the playoffs. We've got West Brom in the semis, and we've managed to beat them 2-1 in the first leg. Even in the second leg, we started off brilliantly with Wilson scoring the first. But then we collapsed. West Brom scored twice, took this game to penalties. Modric scored the first spin, but Dave Rooney, who's never missed a penalty, sent it straight to the stands. I messed up the pen! No! And with that, it's heartbreak. Our streak of back-to-back promotion is over. The question is, what does this mean for the future of our club? Are we gonna lose sponsors? Are we just gonna spiral down and get maybe relegated next season? We have no choice but to keep fighting. Well, another season in the championship. And we've lost our sponsor, TikTok. I'm not surprised. When you bottle promotion, there are consequences. The good news is, New Balance are continuing to back us. Plus, we've also got some money from the sale of Tahith Chong. We have a reasonable budget of 17 million this season. Our players have also learned a lot from last season. Look at their ratings. There's been a ton of growth. If we make the right signings, I think we can not only get promoted, but also win the championship. And okay, this is not a joke, but our first signing this season is Harry Maguire. I'm not kidding. Last season, Maguire was available on a pre-contract, and we snapped him up. I know he's a meme, but the experience I think he has, just look at the impact the likes of Henderson and Modric have had at the club. But there's also one more big signing I absolutely want to make. Remember Kovalenko? He was one of our own, but we let him go. And to be honest, it's probably the best thing that could have happened to his career because he's developed into a fine footballer. But I want him back where he belongs. Negotiating this deal is going to be difficult, but for 11 million, we've agreed a deal with Leeds. And if we want Kovalenko, we're gonna have to pay him £20,000 per week. And a signing bonus. I mean, it was our fault we let him go. I want him back, so we are getting this done. Welcome back, Kovalenko. Despite all of the signings, though, we've had a shocking start to the championship, 2-0 down. But we fought our way back to level things. Okay, wait, hang on. Billy Wilson has gone through. Lovely goal from Billy. Ribeiro finds Dave Rooney. He has to take this chance. Dave Rooney scores as well. And then it was time for Kovalenko's dream return. Once again, though, Kovalenko took a really good touch there. Still Kovalenko. Oh, Kovalenko on his return to S2G FC scores the winner in the 85th minute. From our early championship games, one thing I realized is that we're struggling for goals. Dave Rooney's output in the championship has been subpar. I feel like EFL League One might be his ceiling. We need a new striker, but with just 6 mil in the bank, there's nothing much we can do, except for free agents. And there's a certain Frenchman that's available, a former teammate of Luka Modric, a Ballon d'Or winner as well, Karim the Dream Benzema. This would be one of the craziest signings we've ever made in our history. I know he's old, but again, look at the impact Luka Modric had. Benzema would be guaranteed goals, plus he could end up mentoring Dave Rooney. We're doing this. And so Benzema is joining our club. And was there any surprise? He's hit the ground running, scoring goal after goal. Benzema was also much more than his goals. His overall play was helping Billy Wilson and Kovalenko shine. Halfway through the season and we were second, with a genuine chance of winning the league. Not only that, we were having a dream Carabao Cup run, knocking out teams like Liverpool and even Man United on penalties. And we're facing Spurs in the finals. Couldn't ask for a better club to face in a cup final, because you guys know Spurs and trophies don't get along so well. But saying that, we're also playing a final at Wembley, and that was daunting, especially since Spurs take the advantage. But we respond with Lennon Miller equalizing. Benzema then sets up Ribeiro for the lead, and I thought that was it, but Spurs scored again. Penalties will decide whether we win our first major trophy. Sam Tickle does it, a huge save, and if Cooney scores, the pressure is immense. Can Cooney convert? Yes, he can! We've just won the Carabao Cup, my first trophy as a club owner. History has been made. The momentum from winning the Carabao Cup was enough to get us automatic promotion, but if we win our final game of the season, we'll also be championship winners. But before the game, Luka Modric announced his retirement. I was half expecting this, but it still hurts. We're gonna miss those Trivelas. And even in the final game, Modric goes out with a bang. Luka Modric keeps going. Luka Modric has just scored the goal to possibly win us the league. Kovalenko then seals the game with a beauty. Kovalenko, oh my days! That might be contender for goal of the season. Modric retires with the championship trophy, and yes, we're heading to the world's best league, the Premier League. After 4 seasons of hard work, we've made it to the Premier League. As the club owner now, I've got a massive responsibility to make sure we've got funds to survive the league. Because statistically, newly promoted clubs have a high chance of getting relegated. And we don't want to be a club that just yo-yos between the Premier League and the Championship. We're here to stay and win. Thanks to Karim Benzema being an Adidas sponsored athlete, we were able to get a meeting with them, and they've come in with a really good offer. New Balance were amazing to work with, but we need to move beyond. We need more money, and New Balance cannot match Adidas. We've also managed to secure a shirt sponsor deal from Nintendo. And just look at how good our new kits look. All this has led to us having our biggest budget yet, 100 million. That's what happens, man, when you join the Premier League. The TV money, the big sponsorships. We're big time now. And it's crazy to look back and think we started off as a teeny tiny club with just 5 million in the bank. But right now, the focus is on our first task at hand, which is replacing the retired Luka Modric. Let's continue the tradition by bringing in an experienced veteran, another former Champions League winner, Bernardo Silva. He's also got a lot of Premier League experience, which will surely help. Welcome, Bernardo. I do feel like we're really developing a rivalry with Man City, because I'm signing a few of their players. They're doing the same from us. It's kind of getting heated. Looking at our squad, one thing's for sure. This is Igor Ribeiro's team. He's 85 rated with a lot more potential to grow, but can he carry us in the Premier League? Well, 3 games into the season, and our team is not cutting it, even with Ribeiro and Bernardo Silva. Our midfield is lacking a bit of defensive support, so I'm thinking there's a certain talent from Man United, Kobe Mainu. The energy he could bring to our midfield, the defensive stability, it could be tremendous. And since we have the money, we're pulling this off. Kobe Mainu to S2G FC. And just as I expected, signing Kobe Mainu unleashed Bernardo Silva's potential. He was given more freedom, and he even ended up scoring a hat-trick. Also, this season, we're getting our first taste of European football. Well, not the Champions League, not even the Europa League, but it's the Conference League. I mean, come on, surely we can win this. Not a good position to concede a free kick, and oh, this is bad. We almost concede, and yes, we do concede again. No way, no way. They just opened us up so easy. Okay, maybe not. A massive reality check for the club is we've just got gotten knocked out in the group stages itself. And this embarrassment has consequences. Igor Ribeiro, by far our best player, the player we're building this project around, he's now questioning whether he should stay at the club. He apparently has an offer from Barcelona to be their next Brazilian superstar. We need to find a way to convince Igor Ribeiro to stay. And after some discussions with him, he does want to stay because this is his home. But he also wants to be the highest paid player at the club, which I think is fair. But he's also demanding that the team qualify for Champions League. And if we fail to do so, the contract we signed with him now will be invalid. This is a big risk for us, but we've got no choice. Ribeiro is one of the brightest talents in the sport right now. We've got to accept whatever he says. And yes, indeed, he signed a new contract and is now the highest paid player at the club. But now we've got another problem. How on earth do we qualify for Champions League? Well, having Ribeiro in the team does help because he was scoring goal after goal, got us into the fight for top 4. But as fate would have it, Ribeiro suffered an injury. The medical team made it clear that he might be out until the end of the season. We're gonna have to prove to Igor Ribeiro that we're worth his talent by qualifying for Champions League without him. Thankfully, though, we still have Karim Benzema, and he ages like fine wine. Although he has come out and announced that he will be retiring come end of season, but he wants to send us to the Champions League. He's also been mentoring Dave Rooney, and we can see that in his performances. We're in the mix for top 4, but up next, we're up against Man City. Remember, they've already stolen our Brazilian prodigy Rodriguez, but now they want revenge for us signing Bernardo, because they've also gone ahead and signed former S2G FC player and prisoner Toby Payne. Emotions were running high because I couldn't believe what Man City have done. They got in my head and the team couldn't perform, and City took away a massive win. This was a huge blow to our top 4 ambitions. Without Ribeiro, our team is losing steam. We need him back. And against all odds, Ribeiro in record time recovered from his injury. The medical team have done wonders, and he's back just in time for a crucial game at Old Trafford. We beat Man United, we secure top 4. Ribeiro has got the better of the defender and he now pushes forward. Ribeiro back from his injury, 1v1, massive chance, and it had to be Igor. And in just our first Premier League season, we've just about made top 4. Ribeiro saved us. He's going to stay and we're heading for Champions League football. Since we've qualified for Champions League football, Adidas and Nike have increased their funding. 150 million in our transfer budget. We're now a serious football club. Okay, but we can't continue playing in a teeny tiny stadium. It's time to invest in an upgrade. We're spending 20 million to upgrade our stadium capacity to roughly 28,000. Now we're gonna have an amazing atmosphere for home games. But looking at our squad this season, with Benzema retiring, I can already feel his absence. We also need to reinforce the squad, especially if we wanna compete in the Champions League. First signing though we're making is Achraf Hakimi. One word, pace. He's going to add so much to our attack, and since we've got 150 million, I don't mind spending 60 on Hakimi. In other news though, Valencia convinced Oscar Bob to join them. And to be fair, Kovalenko had taken away his spot, so I'm not surprised he's leaving. We got about 40 million for him. It's almost time for match day 1. We're facing Chelsea, but we conceded a late goal and ended up losing our first game of the season. It was demoralizing. But match day 2, we're facing Liverpool. I don't know what are these fixtures. This is a chance to make a statement. We need to beat them if we want to prove to the world that we can win the Premier League. And Igor Ribeiro scored twice to give us a huge win. It does feel like we're heavily reliant on Ribeiro. He performed against Liverpool, we won. He didn't do all that much against Chelsea, and we lost. We need to bring in a new striker to share the burden of scoring goals. And on deadline day, we've made a record-breaking transfer. Rasmus Højlund to S2G FC. Almost 100 million. And with him, our team is absolutely world-class. And we're continuing to climb the Premier League table. But also this season, we're in the Champions League for the first time ever. We've been drawn in the same group as Barcelona. The level and pressure though in the Champions League was unlike anything we've ever seen. Both games against Barcelona, we got dominated. We just about scraped through this group by finishing second. Although Rasmus Højlund was having a disastrous season. You'd think a £100 million striker would be scoring goals for fun, but he was missing sitters. It was Igor Ribeiro carrying the team on his back, and that's made him the hottest property in football. It's January. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City, they're all circling around like vultures for him. But there's no way we're selling him. But wait, we've just got an email from Ribeiro. Hey boss, I feel like I'm in my prime, and I've got offers from Spanish clubs. I still want to succeed at S2G FC because this club has given me everything. So if this season we win the Premier League or the Champions League, I'll stay. If not, please allow me to leave and fulfill my dreams. Honestly, this shows the kind of man Ribeiro is. He could have easily just gone behind my back, betrayed me and joined Barcelona or Real Madrid, but he's willing to give us a chance. It's a fair deal, and let's give it everything to win a big trophy this season so Ribeiro stays forever. The Champions League knockout rounds begin and we've drawn Juventus. Just 20 minutes in and Pedri puts them into the lead. Sam Tickle was making save after save, but Juve broke through again and made it 2-0. I thought maybe in the second leg we could make a comeback, but immediately Juve crushed any sort of hope by scoring. This was a total embarrassment and I could see why Ribeiro wanted to leave. But hey, this was only our first ever season in the Champions League. We'll learn from this experience. For now, we can't let this ruin our season because we've still got the Premier League to play for. The bad news though is that Rasmus has picked up an injury. Things are not going well for him. His form's been horrendous and he's basically now out for the season. We've no choice but to bring Dave Rooney back into the fold. We're facing Man City next, and we need to beat them if we want to win the title. They've still got Toby Payne and Rodriguez, which annoys me. In fact, Toby Payne has been going out to the media and criticizing our club. I want to beat them so badly, but tensions were running high and Hakimi took out Toby Payne. It was a red card. We're a man down against City, and at halftime it feels like our title hopes are over. No way we can beat City with a man down, but we've got Igor Ribeiro. Igor Ribeiro running at the City defense, keeps going and has scored. Igor Ribeiro has done it. But as time passed, City were taking advantage of the extra man and they were back in the lead. We now need a magical moment, but who can produce it? Kovalenko's trying to just go all by himself. They've not defended him. They've literally not defended him. He's got us a goal back and a lifeline. This draw felt like a win and inspired our whole squad. We went on a crazy run, beating every team that was standing ahead of us, and Man City had also dropped out of the title race. After 37 games, we were second in the league, just 2 points off Chelsea. If we win our last game and Chelsea lose their game, we'll be Premier League winners. But our final game was against Chelsea, and it's Dave Rooney who controls the ball and smashes the ball in. It just had to be him. He's worked so hard to get his place back into the team, and he's ended up scoring one of our most important ever goals. And that was enough to make us champions of England. 6 seasons and we've taken our very own club all the way to the top of England. But there's still one thing left, the Champions League. Just arrived at the club offices for the start of a brand new season, and I get a phone call. It's from Nike. They have a proposal that could make us the most valuable club in the world. They want us to swap Rasmus Højlund for Kylian Mbappe, and Nike are willing to bear all the costs for this. Can you imagine that? Kylian Mbappe at S2G FC, the world's best player, playing for us? He would instantly make us favorites for the Champions League. And honestly, I'm not too fussed about Rasmus Højlund leaving, because all he's done for us is miss sitters. All we need to do now is sign this contract with Nike, and they'll do the impossible for us. And yes, indeed, we're taking it. Kylian Mbappe is joining S2G FC. The little boy from Paris is going to be playing for our very own created club. But that's not all. We've also signed a deal with Audi to be our shirt sponsor, and look at how amazing our kits look, especially with the golden Premier League winning badge. With so much money now in the bank, it was time to have some fun. We brought in Enzo Fernandez, and we also replaced Hakimi with Rico Lewis, just to piss off Man City. Ribeiro, though, was not happy with the Mbappe signing, because if you remember, we'd promised Igor Ribeiro that he'd remain our highest paid player, but now we had given that tag to Kylian Mbappe. But Ribeiro has come up with a solution. He says that whoever wins the Ballon d'Or this season becomes the highest paid player of the club. To me, this sounds fair. Mbappe thinks he's the best, Ribeiro thinks he's the best. We'll see who wins the Ballon d'Or. We then witnessed the battle of two giants in this sport. Mbappe scored one game, Ribeiro scored in the next one. It was glorious to watch two players at such a high level. With these two, we managed to top our Champions League group with ease, and now it's time for the Ballon d'Or ceremony. The winner is Igor Ribeiro, from the favelas in Brazil to becoming the world's best player. And we now have to honor our agreement. Ribeiro is once again the highest paid player at the club. Just as you'd expect, Mbappe is not happy with this. He's resorted to faking injuries and causing havoc in the dressing room. It's gotten so bad that club captain Bernard is asking us to kick him out of the club. But if we do that, we're gonna have to pay a huge penalty to Nike, and we won't have money to bring in a replacement. But I think his behavior has left us with no choice. If he's unsettling the dressing room, we are going to have to terminate his contract. But wait, this was all a part of Mbappe's plan, because as soon as we terminated his contract, he's gone ahead and announced his new transfer. Kylian Mbappe has made the move to Manchester City. Mbappe is now playing for our biggest rivals alongside Toby, Payne and Rodriguez. You just know they're going to try and do everything to ruin our season. And since we've got no money to replace Mbappe, Dave Rooney, we're trusting you again. The Champions League knockouts begin, and this is where we got kicked out last season. We're facing Leverkusen. Everybody's asking whether we can compete without Mbappe. And well, in the first leg, we've conceded twice already, but Dave Rooney gives us a lifeline. Second leg and we need a comeback. Ribeiro curls one in, Dave Rooney scores a diving header, and then it was Dave scoring one of the best goals you'll ever see. And Dave Rooney's taking one from distance. Dave Rooney! That might be a goal of the season contender. Dave Rooney has just done a madness. We're not giving up. We're through to the quarterfinals. And up next, we face Barcelona, a team we've never beaten. Once again, though, Barcelona are unplayable, 2-0 up. Billy Wilson gives us a bit of hope for the second leg. Now, in front of our home fans, we have to beat them. First chance for Ballon d'Or winner Ribeiro, and we're back in the game. Cross into Dave Rooney, he controls it, and bang! We've beaten Barcelona for the first time ever. We're through to the semi-finals. Dortmund were up next, but we were able to see this one through and make it to the Champions League final. And of course, we're facing Man City. It just had to be them, our biggest rivals, Mbappe versus Ribeiro. This game means so much. If we win this, I can officially call myself the world's best club owner. Game kicks off and Mbappe slides into Ribeiro. There is no love lost. Ribeiro responds though in the best way he knows, embarrassing defenders and scoring. We're 1-0 up and Man City look rattled. Kovalenko helps double up our advantage. I thought it was all over, but no, Toby Payne, no. Toby Payne, no. We've let Toby Payne score. Man City then had chance after chance. We were literally hanging on. But yes, it's done. Full time. S2G FC are Champions League winners. Took us 7 seasons, but we've created the world's best club, and I can officially call myself the world's best club owner. What a journey this has been. Ribeiro, Rooney, Kovalenko, Bernard, Thomas Arnold. These players are going to be forever remembered as club legends. If you enjoyed this journey, click here to watch me become the world's best manager.